Hey, this is Gurnet Combo. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin and Venezuela. Yes, Venezuela. Venezuela is a smallish country on the tip of South America. It's opposite the Caribbean. And they've been in hyperinflation for the past 3 to 4 years, their second wave of hyperinflation. And this is somewhere where we're potentially going to end up as a global economy. Every economy is potentially going to end up there. So it's very, very important that we pay attention to what's happening in Venezuela, what's been happening, and what is happening right now. Let's have a look at this. Yes, so Venezuela, a smallish country just near Colombia on the northern tip of South America, opposite the Caribbean. Now, Venezuela went through a money printing free-for-all over the last decade, over the decade of the tens, from 2010 onwards. And this resulted in hyperinflation. Now, I go on that. Hyperinflation occurs when a central bank creates so much currency that the currency becomes worthless. And in the past 100 years, I can cite 4 examples. It happened in the Weimar Republic, after World War I. It happened in Hungary just after World War II. It happened in Zimbabwe in 2007 to 2009, and it's been happening in Venezuela. And Venezuela are going through their second wave of hyperinflation. Their paper notes are absolutely worthless. Let me show you some images of how their market system looks when somebody's going in to pay for a good or a service. Just check this out. And here's just some random images I've just pulled off Google, right? I typed in Venezuela hyperinflation. You can see, look at that. Notes just lying around there in the market, look. Absolutely worthless. That is what look. This woman's made bloody bag out of notes. Locals take to sewing currency bags. That is what happens when hyperinflation occurs. And that has happened because the government has created so much currency out of thin air that it's become worthless. And what is happening in our markets right now? Well, the US itself is throwing trillions of dollars into the economy over the past few months since the COVID-19 lockdown, since the stock market crash. The Bank of England has come out and said a week or two ago, and I've done a video on this, that in March after the stock market crashed, the United Kingdom was bankrupt. So billions are being thrown into there. The European Central Bank's throwing billions, trillions in. Every bank around the world is printing money and throwing it, creating money like it's going out of fashion. And this ultimately does lead to hyperinflation. Historically, that is what it shows. But I'm going to just show you exactly what extremes, and it's an extreme for a central government, any government around the world, to start adopting this into applying for such an important document. Just look at this article that I found. Yes, that's right. Look, Bitcoin bolivars. Now, bolivars, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Bolivars is the currency of Venezuela. So Venezuela reportedly accepts crypto as payment for passport applications. Check out this article. Now, this is from RT.com, sponsored by the KGB, apparently, like people like to say. But then again, who's saying that the BBC is not sponsored by MI5, MI6, and CNN is not sponsored by CIA? So, you know, we don't know, but people like to throw this around. So it says Venezuela's passport service is accepting Bitcoin as a payment for some applications, according to people using the online system. The move suggests an increased shift to alternative payment systems in the South American state. A screenshot of a Bitcoin payment prompt on Venezuela's Administrative Service for Identification, Migration and Foreigners, and there's an acronym there, was posted to Reddit on June 23rd. Social media users on the platform confirmed that the cryptocurrency could be used by citizens overseas who are applying for a Venezuelan passport. So Venezuela have got them into such a situation, themselves into such a situation, where the central banks and governments have allowed so much currency to be created, so much that has devalued their currency. And as the images showed earlier, paper money is absolutely worthless. Somebody actually made a bag out of paper money. So paper money is absolutely worthless. And the governments themselves are not accepting, let's face it, for a country, I would say one of the most important documents a country could issue is a passport, right? Because that's going to allow you access into their borders, and you're a national of that country and you're meant to be protected by the laws of that country, you're meant to be. So that is a very important legal document. And Venezuela, they don't even trust their own currency to buy their own, to apply and pay the fee for their own passport. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means Venezuela, they've gone down the route that we are potentially going down. They were doing what we are doing today as a global economy, creating trillions out of thin air. They were doing that 5, 6, 7 years ago, and that is what got them. That is what got them in this situation where their currency got devalued, hyperinflation, second wave of hyperinflation has kicked in, and now they're accepting cryptocurrency. And check this out as well. Venezuela in legal battle to get its gold back from the Bank of England. Look at that. England are not letting go of Venezuela's gold. What type of, what's the word I'm trying to look at? What type of integrity has the Bank of England got if they're not giving Venezuela its gold back when they're in such dire straits, when the hyperinflation is through the roof, where it's at a point for the Venezuelan government that they won't accept any currency apart from they accepting Bitcoin now because they see it as a storage of wealth. What does that tell you about the integrity of the Bank of England? Well, basically, they don't have any integrity. It took them 3.5, 4 months to come out and say, yeah, actually, now we're coming out and saying that the UK was bankrupt, but we didn't want to tell anyone. In between then, we've been creating trillions of dollars, trillions of pounds, and pumping it back in, and we've been manipulating things, so don't worry about it. We've got everything in control. In fact, everything is out of control. Central banks, central governments are giving the impression that they have everything in control. This is spiraling out of control, and the only way they feel that they can control the system is by decreasing interest rates, creating more currency out of thin air, pumping that into stock markets, treasury bills, into the bond market to give the impression that everything is above board. And Venezuela is something that we should all be looking towards, a scenario that is very, very quickly creeping up to us. It's on the horizon. It could take 6 months. Oh my goodness me, it could take 3 to 5 years. But trust me, between now and then, we are going to keep hearing stories coming out in the media from banks saying, my goodness, we were in such a bad state 3 months ago, but now it's okay because we've done X, Y, Z. Well, their X, Y, Zs are not a solution to the problem. They are making the problem worse. Their X, Y, Zs are creating more currency and throwing it into the market. And that's what they did in 2009. And that was what gave the impression that the markets had recovered back then. How does this affect all of us? It affects all of us because we use currency on our day-to-day life for every single thing that we consume. But apart from the air, that is, who knows, they may charge us for that as well. But water, we definitely got to pay for, right? So almost everything that we consume, we use currency for our bills. We use currency to go shopping. We use currency, everything for our energy. It is everywhere. And when this stuff starts going into inflation and hyperinflation, we are being stolen from. And that is the thing. We are being stolen from. And we need hedges against this, protection against this. And all day long, for millennia, it's been precious metals. For millennia, thousands of years. And more recently, as Venezuela is demonstrating, it's cryptocurrency. It is. And you're going to see more and more countries, and it won't happen in the US. It won't happen in the US straight away, or the United Kingdom, the stronger economies. But you see the smaller countries who don't have the power of massive internationally traded currencies like the US dollar, the euro, the yen, the RMB, right, the Chinese currency. They won't have that type of massive trading currency to keep their currencies alive. they're going to be slowly chipping in and using cryptocurrency. New Zealand already, over a year it's been, I believe, New Zealand have authorized Bitcoin as a means to pay people's wages in. So experiments have already been going on. And trust me, if a country's got a British flag on it, like New Zealand has, then you know that it's just an experiment to be rolled out at a later stage. But I can guarantee they won't allow Bitcoin as the main currency. I'm talking about the United Kingdom and the G7 countries. They'll have their own cryptocurrencies, but crypto will be there. Bitcoin will be there, available. It would, in a free market economy, which is what we love, it will be available. But the smaller countries, you can see more smaller countries who are not pegged to massive currency systems like Europe, pegged to the euro. You're going to see them starting to implement cryptocurrency in payment systems. And look, for a passport in Venezuela, they accept Bitcoin. And not to pay your electricity bill, for a passport. That shows you where we are heading. And we are heading to digital cashless society, and we're heading to cryptocurrency being accepted, slowly being accepted as a means of payment. And we all need to get on board with this. And I have the perfect masterclass for this. Click on the link below. It covers everything you need to know to safely buy Bitcoin in 2020. This is so important that we all learn this. Click on the link below. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll speak to you soon.